Hi, my name is Jay Sugarman, and I want to welcome you to Museum Open House. This ongoing series features and highlights many of the outstanding museums and other cultural institutions. The main purpose of most programs is to inform viewers about current and upcoming exhibits, various programs, resources, and other opportunities that are available for the general public. Today's program features two outstanding exhibits at the Vilna Shul, Boston's Center for Jewish Culture, where historical architecture and contemporary creativity come together in powerful and unexpected ways. Through exhibitions, performances, educational programs, and community events, the Vilna continues to demonstrate that history isn't simply something we preserve, it's something we continue to interpret, question, and celebrate. This episode brings together two remarkable artists whose very different creativity journeys are united by a shared exploration of history, heritage, and the human experience. Steve Marcus is an internationally recognized pop artist, illustrator, and cartoonist whose vibrant kosher pop art blends humor, history, and Jewish culture into colorful, hand-drawn works. Inspired by everything from underground comics to folk art, his exhibition, American Chutzpah, celebrates the remarkable contributions of Jewish Americans through a playful yet thought-provoking visual style. We'll also be joined by multimedia artist Inna Zhukovsky Zilber, whose immersive installation, Echoes of Home, transforms the historic sanctuary of the Vilna Shul into a deeply personal exploration of memory, migration, identity, and belonging. Inspired by her own journey from Lithuania to Israel, then to the greater Boston area, Inna has created an exhibition that invites visitors to consider the many ways we carry home with us throughout our lives. During today's conversation, we'll learn about each artist's creative process, the stories behind their exhibitions, and how art can help us better understand ourselves, our communities, and our shared humanity. Let's start by meeting Steve and Ina. Welcome. So delighted you're both able to be here.
Thanks so much for having us.
Hi.
There's so much to cover. Starting with you, Steve, right away, first inspired you to tell this story of Jewish contributions to American history through the language of pop art and cartoons?
Well, I would say first I've made uh, artistic styles a lot like handwriting. So it's like, when someone does their signature, it's unique to them. And I would say that as someone who draws, that drawing as well as a style as unique as a signature or handwriting. So really my style is really just uniquely my own. It's not trying to necessarily be anything else. And was it like you had said before during the introduction that been inspired by underground comics and cartoons and popular culture that really ranged, I would say, between the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s is pretty much my area of influence and contribution. And one of the things that I personally like to do with my work at every exhibition for the last 10 years, I've been creating kosher pop art and basically what I would say is I like to take different subjects and then mash them together with the Jewishness.
Mhm.
So in for the 250th anniversary of the United States, it was like an obvious fit to be able to come up with such an idea that relates about the Jewish contributions and some historical moments that I artistically decided to make Jewish, even though historically they weren't, and other things of that nature to really just pull together that concept and be able to share in a fun and exciting way in one of the cradles of the American of our nation in Boston, where a lot of this revolutionary activity had occurred, is for me was like just an exciting series to do, but also an exciting city to do it in. And I might add also that the Vilna Shul is just an incredible institution and really, to my knowledge, the last existing original Jewish building in the entire city, as most of
Mm.
them were razed and destroyed during, Boston's evolution, I think is a nice way to say it. But the fact of the matter is that the Vilna Shul is in the city. It's an incredible venue and an important historical, cultural identity, institution for the city of Boston. So I'm also like thrilled to have it in there as well.
Oh, so well put. How did you decide which people and moments deserved a place in the exhibition?
Well, I would say like I went to public school, and when I went to public school, we would learn about the in history class, American history, and things of related to the development of the country. And a lot of these things, which I have found out, some of them are actually not really true. They're more like legends. But the fact of it is that I would say that a very large majority of the country knows many of the same stories, right? And it's just like anything, whether it's religion or culture or wherever it is, that there's folk tales and stories. And so to take these American folk tales, these American moments that is like so everybody really knows and has a connection to, I think is important because it's important to have people to be able to relate to things. For me, that's my personal thing, that it's like I like people to, at a simple level, to enjoy the art if you'd like it. And that's enough right there. And if you want to go deeper and look into it deeper in a historical way or a cultural way, or whichever way that you want, I don't know if it's okay to say that I put Easter eggs into my Jewish art, but basically that's what I like to do and have people to be able to explore each piece, if they so choose to.
We're fortunate to have some images. Before we jump right to that, just have to say, when I see the title here, what was the inspiration? How'd you come up with naming the exhibition American Chutzpah?
Well, really, in a way, it's like a lot of people know that chutzpah is what it is. If they don't, I would say it's you could Google it. You don't have to get my definition of it. But basically, I would say that there's a certain amount of chutzpah to the country, which is a certain amount of pride and pushy kind of ness about it. And chutzpah could be good or bad, just to say that. And at the same time, it's a Yiddish word. And I think that when people arrive to Jewish people and all immigrants, really, every immigrant, they came and they needed to have a certain amount of grit and approach this new beginning that they had in this country with a certain amount of chutzpah. So I wanted to do that at foremost. I'd
Nice.
also like to say that, because I had mentioned that chutzpah, it's like can be defined as a good thing, right? You could say, oh, that was like that led to something positive, and it could also be a bit of an insult too. And I'm not really into politics in my artwork, but I do live in this world, and I am aware that there's people that have, you know, uh, like diametrically opposed opinions regarding to these things. And so I thought chutzpah also is a good word because it includes it includes everybody. And I like to be very inclusive, that everybody should be able to participate.
No, it fits extremely well. We're fortunate to have a selection of images, the first several from opening reception. As we go through them, Steve, just a few words first about the reception. What was that event like? Some of the comments you might have made, and how the exhibition is laid out at the Vilna Shul.
Okay, well, basically, it was great. The opening was amazing, and I was just incredible. Basically, I'm not from Boston. I don't live in the greater Boston area. I don't live in Massachusetts. I'm from New York City. I'm in the Lower East Side. So I've been blessed with the opportunity to show my artwork at many different institutions around the world. And anytime I go to any place where I'm not from, I'm always surprised that people show up. So there was a lot of people there. It was a great crowd, and they did an excellent job of like putting everything together. The installation, everything was amazing, and I got to say a few words about supporting the Vilna Shul, that I understand from the traveling that I've done, that it's like that these institutions and museums like need the local people as much as the tourism. And that's why it's like it's always every artist needs a wall to hang up the art. So I think it's very important to not make it just about myself in that sense. It's like more like, even though I create in a solo environment all by myself, the fact is it's really like being in a rock band or something. It's like, everybody brings a piece to make the music. And it's like, so the Vilna Shul has been a great partner, and everybody there has been amazing. And then we had a dual opening. And so we both had the opening the same evening. And it was very lovely. And there was a lot of like, interaction with people, with each other, a lot of like just lovely things. So I was very grateful for that.
Terrific, terrific. And I know your exhibition is going to be on display for the upcoming year until
Correct.
next July. Just a couple of words, just so we get a little sense, a little flavor of your inspiration, the creative process you go through, maybe a few comments on one or two pieces of your work, starting with this one, please.
Okay, well, but basically, most importantly, that we live in such a digital world, right? That I'm still an analog guy living in a digital world. I do have a laptop and I do have an iPhone, but basically, I draw everything by hand. Everything's done by hand, which I think is important because now people are like engaging with like AI tools or other digital kind of tools to be able to create art. So I actually still create the artifact, which is essentially, pen and ink is what it is. So I actually still sit down and draw like I did my whole life. This particular piece in Hebrew, it says Silver Bells, very famous Christmas song, and and it was written by a Jewish person. And so basically another piece there was with the Easter Bunny, and during the time of immigration of many Jewish people to the United States, there was people started to then want to contribute to their new host country. And one of the ways was that the United States may be tolerant of all people that are here, or ideally that it's like you could that basically this is a country that's celebrating Christmas essentially. So the Jewish people that were creative started to make music and different things to contribute to the general culture of the United States, which were in this case Christmas songs, which anybody that was willing to look into it would actually be probably surprised that most of the most famous Christmas songs were actually written by American Jewish composers.
Interesting, interesting. While we won't have time to hear the backstory of these next few, as I bring up these images, could you end some comments, just what you hope visitors take with them after seeing your exhibition?
Um, Well, first I'll say this with Little Nathan's Dream. I'll talk about this piece, which is it's like Little Nathan, which is Little Nathan, hand worker who was a hot dog roll cutter for Charles Feltman, which was in Coney Island. Feltman's was in Coney Island. It was the largest restaurant in the world at the turn of the century, and grossed the most money. And they sold hot dogs for a dime. And when Nathan Handwerker was before they invented the roll slicing machine, he had a knife and he would cut each hot dog bun by hand. And while he was there, he came up with an idea. I should sell hot dogs too. And basically, he ended up doing that, came up with to sell them for 5 cents, and Nathan Handworker became Nathan's. And so, like, I took
Interesting.
the artistic liberty to have the little Nathan Handworker having a dream of what would become, on Surf Avenue in Coney Island. I was just in Coney Island on Monday. It's like, it really is one of the greatest places. It's an amazing spot that I've always loved. I go a few times every summer. It's just a great place. But that's basically the history of Nathan's, of which they have the July 4th hot dog eating contest with Joey Chestnut and everything. And it's just to me, just an iconic part of America that really has like a Jewish connection through the handworkers, and
Very
and uh,
nice.
and a, and a great connection. Obviously, that I think there was. I don't know the exact statistic, but I heard that there was something like over 1 billion hot dogs or whatever eaten on July
That's
4th or
incredible.
whatever.
Well,
So
Steve, unfortunately, given our limited time, we're going to have to move on. Thank you so much. Definitely encourage people to make their way to the Vilna Shul to
sure.
see American
Right.
Chutzpah.
I hope everyone comes to look at both of our exhibits and come to support your local institutions like the Vilna Shul. After you come, they have lectures and other series, and people should get involved with their local
Wonderful,
institutions.
wonderful. Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Ina, welcome. So delighted to be able to be here. At what point in your own life, did you think your story was something you felt was ready to share publicly?
Um, I am an artist by trade, so I was taught to believe in what I'm doing. But this is actually a great question because my exhibit is very personal and it's very difficult to basically stand and share all your guts with strangers.
Yeah.
Um, I had a trick during the opening. I was looking at my daughter and was talking to her. It's really helped me to overcome, the anxiety of talking about death of my parents and moving from country to country and losing and finding my home. It's interesting. It's personal and it's also so universal. We did over 50 interviews for this exhibit,
Wow.
ask people about what is home for them. And those people were immigrants and Americans who were born here. The answer was the same. They
Mm,
all said it's a warmth of people around you. It's not a location, it's a community. And it gave me push much more to open what's inside and to show things that usually I wouldn't show
hmm
because
You
they're
know,
too personal.
understand. Your work combines ceramics, textiles, watercolor, and found objects. How does each medium express something that others cannot?
I think they work great in combination. I wouldn't do just watercolors or just ceramics. I think the blending is what it's like life itself. It shows different sides and different tactile sensations. Those little things are very important in our regular life, in an art too. So I combine everything. And sometimes the objects just lead me to do the art because they have their own history and you adding something else, like another layer. So this multi-layered things, it's like, you know, living in another country. I was born in Vilnius, Lithuania. I moved to Israel, and then for 25 years, I'm living in America. And each country is home,
Mm.
different emotion, different connection, but each place is home. It's like layers of information, tactile feeling, emotions. Very important. I wouldn't get rid of any.
And what an honor to have the first exhibition in the sanctuary. We're fortunate to have a short video clip. Before we roll it in, could you give a sense of what we're going to see?
So you will see multimedia presentation that basically is a curiosity cabinet that,
Mm.
what was gathered on a journey. I honestly believe if I would be 20, I wouldn't be able to do it because you need experience and you need your own unique thoughts reflected in that. So you will see the objects, you will see the textiles, and it's, presentation of a journey.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, we're going to roll it in. Feel free to add any commentary if you choose as we enjoy it.
So the structure that you see is actually the dry cleaning conveyor, which, as we know, is used for moving clothes. And I use it as an allegory of our life that we're all the time moving, even if we think that we're in stagnation, we're aging, and it's moving too. But on a way, we're accumulating our experiences and we're accumulating our sorrows and joys. The objects are gathered from different eras of my life and made in a different time. You also see some sculptures, some ceramics, and a tapestry that I painted for my dear friends. Each of the object by itself had its own unique moment and meaning in my life and universal life too. But together they're like a quilt of memories. Uh,
Terrific, terrific. We're fortunate to have this nice wide shot
yeah,
from the opening reception. A few comments about the reception, maybe reaction and feedback from attendance, and maybe highlight some of the items we're experiencing in front of us.
of course. So first of all, being and showing in Vilna Shul, it's just a match made in heaven with my personal history and with the place that really, really resembles the uh, temples of Soviet Union that were decaying. They were not taking care of it because religion is not a thing in Soviet regime. It's really brought me back, and it's like a full circle. Uh, Vilnius. It's an important place. I was born there. Lots of things happened. I was a little girl. I was sheltered by my parents. Happy childhood as happy as could be.
Hmm,
And now I was able to show it in a sanctuary. I was in awe. I couldn't speak for days after they said that I could do it. Just amazing thing. We were sold out. All the tickets were sold out, which means people want to connect, people want to see, people want to share their story. A lot of people knew my art, they my supporters and my followers. But nevertheless, it's summer, everybody is busy.
sure.
Kids, keep code, plants, and they were all there. They were all, you know, asking questions, sharing their stories. And this is what's amazing. When
No, the
art pushes people to talk and to share their things, the storytelling behind it.
No, the success of the opening reception definitely a tribute to both you and Steve. We're fortunate to have some nice close-ups. Would you highlight what we're appreciating here?
So this tray is made of memories and important moments. You can see a picture of my mom when she was a baby,
Hmm.
which I restored from little pieces, and it was very important to me. I lost my parents when I was very young, and the memory of them is always with me, and I'm always measuring myself. What would they think? Did I do good? Those are the letters of my grandmother that she sent from Israel to Soviet Union to describe the land of milk and honey.
Mm.
Describe how great and free people can live there. The little vessel with the amber. It's what I gathered on the seashore shore of Baltics when I was 5 years old, and I carried it through all my journey.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And the egg weight, I made it a sculpture about motherhood. I painted my kids. The egg is empty. It's lightweight as a feather, but it's still heavy because nobody prepares you to how interesting and difficult this journey to be a mother, and it never ends, which is also very, very important to me.
Most
So
definitely.
the
Most
objects gather through the years, and each of them have a specific location and meaning and specific memory.
Now, even in our limited time, it's wonderful to hear some of the background behind them. Few comments about what we're enjoying here.
Um, this is how I imagined my wall of vignettes of people who are gone, and some of them I didn't meet, but I have heard so many stories. On the photographs that I restore, you see my parents before I was born, and it's always fascinating. Was it a world before us? Before we were born, nothing happened, right? Those are people who made it happen, and it's very important for me to show the gratitude and, to them to be with me at any part of my journey. The ceramic plates that I made were honoring the family that we lost in a Vilnius ghetto. Those are stories that my grandparents told me about people who raised them, people who helped them to survive. So I made them whimsical with little animals, with, little
Mm,
smiles. So they will be real, not just the stories. So they will be, one of us. Although no photographs left, only the stories. And it's important to continue those stories to keep this memory alive.
most definitely. In closing, Ina, if someone has never experienced displacement, visits echoes of home, what do you hope they understand by the time they leave?
I hope people will be able to connect. Um, I can tell endless stories about the objects that I gathered, but this is not my goal. My goal is for all of them to find something that talks to them and to weave their own story.
Nice. And years from now, when you look back on Echoes of Home, what do you hope this exhibition will represent in your artistic career and in your life?
It's definitely a milestone for me. Um, the sharing of the story is very important, and I think the story should be told again and again. Maybe not so personal, maybe universal. I would like to involve more people in storytelling, in sharing their experiences. Um, it's like a library of memories. So I would love to share more of this with different people and want to hear from them what they're ready to share too. I would also love to involve my kids in that. They're both artists
Hmm,
and they're very sensitive to what I'm doing. I would love their input too. I think it can be interesting project to carry through several generations.
most definitely, most definitely. And it's on display into August. When's the closing date?
25th of August.
Wonderful. Well, unfortunately, we've come to the end of the program. Want to thank both of you so much for taking the time to be here. So much more we can find out about both of the exhibitions, but definitely encourage viewers and others to make their way till the Vilna Shul to enjoy these. And as Steve so eloquently put, enjoy ongoing programming throughout the year that the Vilna Shul offers to the general community. For now, I just want to end by wishing you both continued success with future endeavors.
Amen. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. All
Thank
the
you.
best. Thanks for the opportunity. So thank
Our,
you.
our pleasure.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Also want to thank those of you watching for joining us and hope you'll be able to tune in next time.